Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, YouTube Lunatic takes plea in destruction of Taylorcraft. Red Cat sees Ukrainian order for 200 FPV racing drones. Australian safety notice places emphasis on sliding seat issue with Sling 2. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. YouTube Lunatic takes plea in destruction of Taylorcraft. A YouTuber who deliberately crashed an airplane for purpose of increasing his online viewership has agreed to plead guilty to a felony charge of obstructing a federal investigation. Trevor Jacob, age 29, who also willfully destroyed the wreckage of the crashed aircraft, agreed to plead guilty to one count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation, which carries a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. On November 24, 2021, Jacob departed Lompoc City Airport in a Taylorcraft BL-65. Prior to taking off, the young man mounted several video cameras to the aircraft. Later, Jacob parachuted from the aircraft as the Taylorcraft descended unguided, impacting in the Los Padres National Forest. On December 10th, Jacob and a friend utilized a helicopter to airlift the Taylorcraft's wreckage and later drove the wreckage to Lompoc City Airport and over a period of time destroyed it. On December 23, 2021, in a secondary triumph of dim-wittedness, Jacob uploaded a YouTube segment titled "I Crashed My Airplane." The video depicted its creator promoting a brand of wallet before parachuting to safety as the doomed airplane crashed. Jacob further admitted to falsifying an accident report in which he attributed the mishap to an in-flight engine failure. The FAA revoked Jacob's pilot certificate in April 2022, not that he'll be needing it for the next 2 to 20 years. And after the break, Jetson 1 selects ParaZero for parachute system.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
Unbridled passion, unequaled performance, unlimited possibilities.
Hartzell Aviation, you are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing Hartzell Aviation, leading general aviation companies united by the Hartzell guiding principle of built on honor, a commitment to uphold the highest standards in quality, performance, and support. Hartzell Propeller, Hartzell Engine Tech, Hartzell Aerospace Welding. We are Hartzell Aviation.
Now boarding at hartzellaviation.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Jetson 1 selects ParaZero for parachute system. Jetson has announced the selection of ParaZero's Safe Air Parachute Recovery System for their One, the firm's single-person electric VTOL aircraft. Just as general aviation aircraft have seen success in courting a wider customer base with a deployable airframe parachute, the One's incorporation of a comprehensive safety system should help to open up an even wider swath of prospective pilots. It will be interesting to see how ParaZero ensures parachute functionality on the Jetson's usual flight envelope. Unlike other aircraft, the One is best enjoyed at low altitudes. UAE cancels Airbus €800 million Helo deal. The United Arab Emirates canceled an outstanding €800 million contract for the sale of a dozen H-225 Caracal multi-role helicopters from Airbus, citing high life cycle costs and a limited mission envelope. The cancellation is undoubtedly a stinging one for Airbus, putting an end to an order placed in December 2021. While there are probably plenty of politics involved in any procurement decision, the UAE says the decision was simple logistics, adding that Airbus, quote, lacked the serious motivation to respond to our demands in order to meet the pressing requirements of the government, end quote. Airbus completes first flight for India's C-295. The first C-295 for India has successfully completed its maiden flight, continuing its march toward delivery by the second half of 2023. The aircraft took off from Seville, Spain on May 5th, completing a leisurely 3-hour test flight as Embraer put the new bird through its paces. India currently has 56 C-295 aircraft on order, placed in 2021 to eventually replace its legacy fleet of Avro aircraft. The first 16 aircraft will be built in Seville, Spain, and delivered flight-ready when complete. Families of Flight 3407 takes issue with SkyWest charter application. Families of Flight 3407, a lobbyist group centered around those lost in the Colgan air crash in 2009, have weighed in on the application to provide commuter service by SkyWest charters. The group sent a letter to DOT Secretary Pete Buttigieg requesting that the administration deny SkyWest charters' request. The group objected to the proposed operation, taking issue with the possibility that the anticipated commuter service would use first officers without an airline transport certificate under their belt. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Red Cat sees Ukrainian order for 200 FPV racing drones. Red Cat Holdings has announced its intent to deliver 200 long-range, high-speed FPV drones to Ukrainian units in June, further reinforcing the utility of the type in military service. The model will be delivered with the firm's Teal 2, a compact little sprinter with first-person controls and high-tech FLIR imaging. The continued use of drones, both civilian and military, has come to emphasize a few consistent features for a successful ISR platform: easy handling, first-person pilotage, good battery life, robust construction, and detailed sensors. The Teal 2 sports all of the above and more, enough to be a more upscale, reliable, and hardened rendition than similar but inferior commercial-spec UAVs. The drone was made available to military, government, and commercial customers at last month's release. The Teal 2 is aimed at providing a handily compact UAV that can support accurate ISR collection at any time of day. Each Teal 2 is equipped with a Hadron 640R FLIR sensor, courtesy of Teledyne, providing high-res thermal imaging that can provide users with far better target identification than first-generation airborne FLIR tech. And after these messages, Australian Safety Notice places emphasis on sliding seat issues with Sling 2.
Throughout the globe, Piper Aircraft has hand-selected the very best in company representation, service, and support. From first inquiry to acquisition to product support, Piper Aircraft ownership is seamless and worry-free. Piper Aircraft authorized dealers, factory trained, factory connected.
SkyLeader Aircraft offers a lineup of the most powerful, durable, and efficient light sport aircraft in the industry. From trainers to roomy cockpits for long hauls, SkyLeader has an aircraft for you. And the best part? They're in your budget. SkyLeader's base prices are set low to give you room to customize your aircraft to your needs, desires, and wallet, allowing you to put your money where it matters to you most. Visit flyskyleader.com today to learn about our aircraft, customization options, and chat with the team.
Welcome back. Australian Safety Notice places emphasis on sliding seat issues with Sling 2. A reminder from the Australian Transport Safety Bureau brought a classic Cessna bugbear to the fore with a review of a recent incident during takeoff, this time in a Sling 2 taking off for a training flight. Luckily, the incident did not turn out poorly for the student pilot, who was starting off their very first solo flight when the seat locking mechanism unlatched, dumping them backwards upon rotation. The incident highlights a bit of the convenience of a floor-mounted stick, since all it required was the reduction of throttle and some handbraking to bring the Sling 2 back to rest without leaving the runway. As many in the GA community know, an unlatched seat can turn quite deadly when the pilot reflexively pulls on the yoke to stay in position. The problem has been a pretty consistent issue in the Cessna community, with the Aussie FAA equivalent publishing an airworthiness bulletin in line with the rest of the world in 2018. CASA warned all single-engine Cessna operators about the vital importance of, quote, meticulous inspection and timely maintenance to ensure pilot seats, adjustment mechanisms, and seat track locking mechanisms are secured correctly to prevent inadvertent seat movement, particularly during critical phases of flight, end quote. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching!